This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Since losing my dad and my grandmother this year, my poor husband has fallen victim to being my therapist on top of being my husband and life partner and everything else. So I reached out to BetterHelp, not only about sponsoring the podcast, but for therapy for me. And it's super easy, very user-friendly. I have both an app and the website. I can reach out directly to my therapist when needed. I also have a live session every Monday or Tuesday. We talk ad nauseum for like 45 minutes about all the things that are going on in my life. And I'm telling you, immediately after those sessions, I feel like refreshed and rejuvenated and like I've just taken a 10-pound weight off my shoulders. If you are interested in BetterHelp, in online therapy, in getting your life together, I suggest that you go to betterhelp.com/BGP. Again, betterhelp.com/BGP for Big Girl Pants Podcast. And thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring the podcast.
Hi, this is Big Girl Pants Podcast,
Where we talk about women, health, power, and wealth.
hosted by
April Melton.
and Kimberly Shapiro.
We are real women with real jobs doing real life.
Join us while we showcase inspirational stories and inspirational people.
Come on, y'all. Put your big girl pants on and stay tuned. So, welcome back to Big Girl Pants Podcast featuring April Melton. Today, we have a guest. Yes, guest. My former co-host, Kimberly Shapiro.
Hey.
Welcome.
Yeah, actually, I kind of feel like a guest.
Do you really?
I haven't been here since I swear, like
It's been a long
August,
time. Yeah.
right? Maybe
Yeah.
September.
And it's almost November, yeah.
So I kind of feel like a guest anyway.
That's fine.
Like even if we were still a thing, like Big Girl Pants
You're like,
with
wait,
two
how do I do
co-hosts,
this? What's going on?
I would still feel like a guest. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
And, cheers.
Cheers to, as April titled, An End of an Era.
The end of an era.
The
Did you like
end.
that on the calendar?
I did.
It is the end of an era. It's crazy. I don't know what I'm going to title the episode yet. I might title it that. I might title it.
I kind of like it. I think it's fun.
We had that other episode with John Bros a long time ago, and it was like how to break up and stay friends. He was like, you could do that, part 2. But yes,
That's
so
funny.
this episode, we're going to talk about how Shapiro and I are going separate ways, and I'm going to take the podcast, and Shapiro is no longer going to co-host, but you're definitely going to come on, like,
Anytime you ask me,
yeah,
I'll be here.
a lot.
I'll be a rotating guest.
Yeah, you'll be like a.
You'll be so sick of me.
What do they call that? Like
I'll be the
regular,
Dr. Phil to Oprah.
a contributing regular or whatever.
I'll be the Dr. Phil to your Oprah.
Regular contributor. There you go. Whatever. So how are you doing? How's life?
Amazing, busy, very busy, but in a great way. So many good things happening.
Yeah.
The last year has been kind of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, from a work perspective, we had literally the first quarter bleeding into quarter 2, Q2 was the worst since we launched.
Yeah.
So,
And you guys launched in what, 2018?
we Q4 of 2018. And then, so 2019 was our very first year. For those who don't know, like first time listeners or whatever, I'm in the staffing industry and we launched I'm a part of I would say a startup. We are probably no longer considered a startup because we're about to have our 5th anniversary. But in 2018, I launched what's called the Contractor Temporary Division.
Yeah.
So 2019 was really our first year in business.
Yeah.
And then
2020. The
2020
pandemic.
hit.
Bullshit.
Right. And then all of a sudden, now we're right smack in the middle of a pandemic. Use that term loosely. And so there we were.
Panic.
Everybody was like, yeah, panicdemic. Everybody was, forced to go home. We lost 80% of our book. We were trending in Q1
Yeah.
to hit our goal by the end of Q2, maybe or early Q3 for the
the
whole
year.
year. So it was an amazing start to the year. And then it just literally collapsed.
Yeah.
It was awful. As everybody knows. I mean, everybody dealt with it. People lost their jobs. I mean, it was horrible. So we came out of it okay at the end of 2020, but something happened Q1 of 2021. Well, I know what that something was. There was the stimulus.
Yeah.
There was the additional $300 a week.
Yep. In
that
unemployment
everybody was getting in
insurance.
unemployment.
Yep.
So from an economic perspective, families they weren't doing this because they weren't staying home and not working and collecting unemployment because they were lazy. It was an economic decision. Like, it just was cheaper.
And it also made more
that.
sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to make more money to stay home. I can be with my family. I don't have to pay for dry cleaning. I don't have to pay for gas. I don't have to work. Well, I kind of feel like there are people that I've spoken to that felt like that was the negative part of it.
That they weren't getting to contribute to something.
Yeah, they didn't have a job that they could come out of this at the end of. They had to go find new employment. But anyone in the employment market right now, if you really want to work, I say can work.
And like it's job seekers, you can basically name your price at this point too, which is so annoying.
Man. So it's been great. The first 2 quarters were just awful. But the second they lifted, June 26th will be a day that lives in my mind forever.
I love that day.
Because that's when they lifted
that extra $300.
And I mean, the floodgates opened. We immediately started getting candidates to call us back. We immediately started placing, on average, maybe 10 a week where we were dry, like might have one start in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So immediately it just started pouring in, and it was great, and it has not stopped.
That's awesome.
So, Ryan is a girl that works for me. She's an amazing salesperson. She was... I didn't know 100% if she was going to stay with the firm because it was just so bad. And now she's already made President's Club. Like, she's going to Mexico. And,
in 2 months?
Yeah,
3 months?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
It just, the floodgates opened and people started taking our calls again. And it was never a matter of not having work or jobs for people. We always had those.
Yeah. You just didn't have candidates to fill the jobs.
We couldn't have anyone. Nobody would call us back.
Right.
Candidates just did not. Because keep in mind, guys, I'm temp to hire.
Yeah.
Contract stuff. Direct hire, I think, was still flowing and doing very, very well.
Yeah, it's been insane all year.
But nobody wanted to work contract or contract to hire even. They would just stay at home. If you're under that $25 an hour threshold, those were the people that were really mostly impacted. Over $25 an hour, those guys were working.
Yeah.
So, and most of what we do is under $25 an hour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's great. It's great. It's been very busy. My team is back up to, we're fully staffed again.
Good.
Finally have an admin starting for the first time.
I'm so jealous of you right now.
God, I'm excited for myself.
I need an admin so bad.
I'm excited for myself.
Hey, can you do this for me? That would be so great.
Yeah, it's going to be great for the team. They're very excited. And we have all these upgrades happening with our software. And so we're just automating things. And it's just big, good, fun stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what about you?
I mean, work is about the same. It is insane. This market is just absolutely crazy. And Shapiro works on the contract to hire side. I work more on I do long-term contracts, but I do mostly direct hire. Mm-hmm. And it's anything. So any vertical, any office professional position, anything from HR, administrative, an admin, all the way up to like a CFO that I'm working on right now. And it's just like, ugh. Having to educate my clients, hey,
move fast.
Yeah, this is like astronomical rates. You have to move the fastest you've ever moved if you ever want to hire someone ever. It's insanity.
It's crazy.
They're getting 10 phone calls a day from recruiters just like us that are hiring for the same positions. And it's like you said on the previous episode, 10.5 million job openings, 8.5 million people to fill those jobs.
Yeah.
Huh?
And compensation, as everybody knows, we're living right in the middle of inflation. So compensation is increasing. Everything is going up. Gas prices are going up.
I'm losing candidates to they're getting offers at $30,000 higher than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a client
yesterday,
very well-known brand. Everybody would know them. And if I can't say it because I'd get in trouble literally from them, we had to sign an agreement not to even say that we work with them.
Yeah.
Crazy. But everybody would know the brand. They don't pay very well at all, and they think the CFO told me, "Well, we have such a great package. Our benefits are so great, and
people don't
time
care.
off is so great.
They don't care."
And I said, "Well, when you're dealing with maybe 80K and above, the full package does matter. It really does. They're looking at that. They're asking those questions. But when you're we're talking like a staff accountant level,
yeah." Which is about 55 to 60 grand a year?
Should be.
Okay.
They want to pay 45.
Ew.
And they agreed. And they said, well, our package should take care of itself. And I'm like, when you're talking about people making 45K, they want to know, can I pay my car? Can I pay my mortgage? Can I pay my daycare?
Can I pay my
They don't care about
rent?
the package.
Can I pay my groceries?
They don't care about the package. They care about the money coming
45K?
in. Yeah. And they fill it. They always fill it because of the name. But I mean, the people don't stay.
Right.
They don't stay.
So what's the point?
What's the point?
So the cost of a bad hire is you're losing money by having to turn around and hire more people constantly.
Spreadsheets have been donated to them for these.
Plus, they're paying a fee.
Like, I know, they don't get it. Well, whatever. Teach their own. To each
keep filling my jobs. It's
their
fine.
own.
Well, that's good. I'm glad about work. What about home life stuff? You said you were redoing your pool?
Redoing my home, you guys. I've been living. My husband and I bought a house 5 years ago that was a fixer-upper, and I didn't. When I thought fixer-upper, I was thinking aesthetics. Like I just didn't think about all of the things under the ground or in the walls or in the attic that would be falling apart as well. So we spent...
You're like, I'm just thinking like pretty paint new
and
countertops,
right,
new flooring, whatever. All the pretty stuff that you get to see.
Yeah.
No,
And
not plumbing and foundation or
electric work.
structural issues.
I had no idea. So I spent...
Hey, but you got a really good deal on that house.
I did.
Because what if you tried to sell that house today? How much would it be worth?
Well, a lot.
Right.
But I will say...
Almost double or what?
Not quite double, but close.
Almost.
Close.
Yeah.
So we did get a good deal. We know that now. 2 years ago, we weren't so sure. We're like, there's so much work that needs to be done.
2 years ago, I think that was when you guys had the plumbing issues and electrical issues and all this stuff. And you were like, it's 30 grand and we've just sunk in this house and you get nothing. You see nothing.
You see nothing.
Right.
It was 45,000 and you couldn't see any of it. And that's why, and people would come over 3 years in and they're like, I thought you were going to remodel the kitchen. I'm like, shut up. Like, I want to.
First of all, stop asking.
But I had to make sure the house didn't burn down. So there's that.
Also, did you want to come inside of the house? Because if I didn't do these things beforehand, then I wouldn't have a functional house. So up to you.
I know, seriously. And our pool, the house has a pool. And it's also 30 something years old. And the coping, that's the brick or what do you call that?
Tile or brick
tile or whatever that goes around the pool
the borders.
was literally falling into the pool.
Sweet.
Now, keep in mind, my family, we don't care.
Literally don't care.
We swam in that crap for almost 5 years. And we really didn't, we cared.
Still
We were like,
swim in that crap 5 years later.
we did. But now it's being fixed and it's beautiful. Remind me to show you a picture. So we're getting the pool done. We're getting a new fence. We're getting a patio cover.
Are you doing like a pergola?
Nope. I'm doing a real roof extension.
Good.
So that we
hate
can.
those.
I do too, because I want to be out there in the rain and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And then with lighting and fans and all that. And
Perfect.
then the patio out there is like this weird, I don't know, it's like stone rock. So it hurts your feet when you walk on it.
Yeah.
So now I've got a guy coming out to do like an overlay over the patio, but also in places where there wasn't before. So it's just going to be one flush, beautiful patio.
Lovely.
It's going to
So you can walk in
all the places.
You don't have to step over anything.
There's a lot of stepping over a lot of things right now, as April knows. Like, I've got this one area that splits the area by the pool and the patio area. Like, when you walk out the back door, there used to be bushes there that would separate those two areas.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled those bushes out, but I left that little open area where there's dirt and a couple of railroad ties. So if you wanted to, like, not hop over, you can actually step on something. It's really pretty.
It worked out. It worked out well.
So all that's going away. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your daughter is pregnant?
My daughter's pregnant. She's going to have baby number 2.
A boy number 2.
A boy number 2. Luca
Yay.
Alexander, I think is his name.
Luca.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Oh, well.
Whatever. Sorry, Taylor.
Sorry.
Oh my God, I love Luca.
Yeah, it's so cute.
So cute.
Yeah, and her nephew in Canada's name is Luke. So they are going to love that. Those two babies. Because Kylie has a cousin named Kaylee, and they just love it. They love that their names are so close.
We almost have the same name.
Exactly. So it's going to be super cute. But they're doing great. Everybody's doing great. Kylie got married in April, which everybody knows, I think.
We talked about that.
Listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything is pretty good. I finally got I don't know if you remember, I was launching a networking group for women.
Yeah.
That was about mentoring and helping women who wanted to be in leadership and executive roles get there.
Okay.
So I finally got a group of women together that are going to help me launch that. So that's exciting.
Badass. You'll have to keep me posted on that.
Oh, I will, for sure. Well, I mean,
I would love to be in
want you to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah.
So that's finally getting off the ground. I started writing a book. Yeah. finally, called
Wow.
Courageous Confidence.
Oh my gosh.
So-
With Kimberly Shapiro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. I've been speaking a lot.
Yeah, I
I've
noticed.
had quite a few this year, which last year they kind of dried up.
Sure.
But I had my first kind of big speaking. I've been paid before, but not significantly. So I had my first paid speaking event recently, and that was kind of exciting.
What was the topic that you spoke about? Or the theme?
Leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just most of them are leadership. It's either about women, and not always women in leadership. Sometimes it's just about women learning how to be confident, or just, I guess, taking a path of, I don't know how to even say it, because it's not always leadership.
Right.
Sometimes it's just empowerment, I guess.
Sure.
So, but I really like the leadership topics.
Yeah.
Probably more than anything
What topics
else.
are your favorite to talk about?
Well, if I like talking about, if I'm going to take it down a work lane, I like talking about, what is the title of my talk? Shit. Of course you're going to ask me and I'm going to draw a complete blank, but it's the War on Talent. It's the War on Talent. I love talking to hiring managers and people that are in a position to hire about the realities of the market and what's really going on and how we have to shift our model. What we do right now and how we find talent, it just isn't, it's so antiquated. It's like
100%.
we've got to get past that.
Yes.
Resumes cannot be the way that we identify a potential hire.
1,000%.
Number one, so many people mislead on a resume. There's that. And number two, a resume absolutely 100% is not even close to sharing what a person is like. It doesn't really tell their story.
No.
So
What kind of human vibes do you get from a piece of paper?
I mean,
I get none.
It's just broken. The whole process is broken.
I like that. That's a good topic.
It's one of my favorite ones.
When you come back, we should talk about that like ad nauseum.
Yeah, for sure. But leadership, that's probably my favorite topic.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah. And
Where'd you speak
anytime
last?
women in the leadership lane. The last one was BBVA,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Good.
Oh, y'all, if you're listening, I'm sorry. They're all kind of bleeding together.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
But
Whatever, no big deal.
So there is a lot going on, which elephant in the room. So I am no longer a part of Big Girl Pants podcast. I decided to step away. I fired myself.
I fired myself.
She
She didn't fire herself. She voluntarily left. Yes.
by firing myself. So anyway, I did that because I was feeling so stressed. Anytime it was time to, anytime I would think about the podcast, I would just immediately be so full of guilt.
Yeah.
Because April was carrying this whole thing by herself for 6 months, maybe more. And that just takes a toll because I'm not that kind of I like to have responsibilities equally shared, and they were not being shared at all. And I just felt so guilty. And then I'm like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So I just thought I need to step back.
All right.
And I'd like to start, I have wanted to start a podcast a long time around kind of the whole women in leadership and type thing. So
I remember the last time we had the conversation too, you were like, I'm thinking about starting a podcast called Fuck It, I'm 40.
so true, man.
Totally wanted you to do that for
Fuck it, I'm 40. But now I'm closer to 50.
Well, yeah, that was a couple of years ago. So
Yeah. Fuck it, I'm almost 50.
yeah, fuck it.
It's so...
Fuck it, I'm 50.
I gotta tell y'all, getting older is the coolest thing in the world.
Really?
It is. It's just badass. And if you don't see it that way, y'all, you need to read some books.
Why
or
is
something.
it so badass?
You are all of a sudden, at least for me, I'm not speaking for every female on the planet, clearly, or person on the planet, but for me, I was just instantly given a shot of confidence and just I legitimately do not care. Not from a narcissistic perspective where I don't care what anybody thinks of me. That's not what I mean.
No.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to.
Right.
I still want people to respect me because I deserve the respect, or I respect them, blah, blah, blah. But it's just an immediate sense of peace in where I am in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I have worked so hard to check
get where
boxes
you are. Yeah.
and to accomplish I'm a goal setter. I accomplish those goals and then I set new ones. So I'm never I'm never leaving goals in the past because I'm checking those boxes. So there's no resentment and
the sense of accomplishment is there.
Damn, why didn't I do that? Because I've done it.
Right.
And then I always have things in front of me to look forward to. Never in my life, well, at my adult life, have I ever not had goals in front of me.
Yeah.
Never have I not had them behind me that I've checked and said, wow, way to go, girl. But never have I not had them in front of me as well. So I guess because maybe I have a peace of mind around the fact that I don't have boxes unchecked.
Yeah.
Best way I can think to state that. And I still have things that I'm excited about.
That you're still going to do.
Hell
Goals that
yeah.
you still have to strive towards.
Hell yeah. And at the end of the day, like this isn't like 40 years ago when our 46-year-old grandmothers looked like they were 89 because they had those short little, gray haircuts and their moo-moo dresses and
they just gave up on life.
Bacon banana bread in the kitchen. Like that was their
Which
life.
we can still do that too and still be in leadership. You can still bake banana bread and still be in leadership.
You can still wear that moo-moo too.
And the curly grandma hair if that's what you like.
I'd advise against it. Do the moo-moo. Work the moo-moo. Bake the bread. Stay away from the gray
hair.
the curly hair. So no, I do agree with that. I don't know. You just you wake up and you just think, wow, life is pretty damn cool.
Have you read that book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck?
Oh, for sure.
So it's like a little bit of that. Like you just stop giving a fuck about shit that is not important to you and you just keep striving to accomplish those goals.
Maybe that is it in a nutshell, is you start to realize what is important. What truly is important.
Right.
My youngest daughter has recently, she's a dramatic little one. Love her.
Theater kid.
Very
all the way.
dramatic girl. Went to dinner with her recently because she was going through some drama, which, let me be real, y'all, wasn't drama. It was just drama to her.
Sure.
And it was just something happening with her mother-in-law and her husband, this girl he was working with, and it was just this big entangled mess. And I'm like, honey bunny, let me just tell you, drama is a lot like a snowball.
Yeah.
If you leave it alone, it will melt and go away. But if you feed it, it's like it rolls downhill and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you're inside of the snowball. It has taken you over. So it's like
you've been enveloped by the snowball.
Yeah, you got to just let it melt.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Don't engage. Don't buy into it. Just let it roll. Now, I get a lot of flack when I say things like that because people say, well, then you're not standing up for yourself. You're not standing up for your situation or the situation. And I'm like, no, you're probably right. But peace is coming to me a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And it's funny, my stepmom's mom always said, and she was talking about marriage when she was talking about this, but she always said, how important is it?
Right.
Like, how important is it?
Right.
Like, choose your battles.
I will always choose peace.
Yeah.
I don't have to win at all.
No.
You do not have to see my side.
I'm the first one to say I'm sorry, too, just to nip the conflict in the bud.
100%.
Hey, I'm sorry. I fucked up here. Let's move forward.
I may not say I fucked up, but I will definitely say, I'm sorry. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
You're like, I will not say I'm sorry. I will not
say I was wrong. Please, let's make sure we understand. I will not say I was wrong.
Don't get it twisted. I said I'm sorry.
Unless
I didn't say I
wrong.
made a mistake.
Right. Unless I did, right? And then I'll own it. But even with marriage, there was like a lot of little things in my 20s that used to just drive me crazy and eat me alive. And even in my 30s and just things that used to just bother me so badly. And now I don't care.
What are those things?
As I was saying that, I was trying to remember maybe mood, my cute little curmudgeon-y husband.
Curmudgeon-y.
He's a little grumpy bear.
Yeah, so's mine.
And
the fucking grumpiest.
It used to really bother me.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where I would let it alter my mood.
Right.
And impact my sense of peace.
Right.
If he wasn't in a good mood. Well,
and now you're like, I mean, don't give a fuck.
You go do you. I say you do you, boo boo, and it drives him. He get so mad. But you do you. If you want to be upset and angry and you live your life in that gray little rainy rain cloud,
go right
then
ahead.
you go do that.
But you know what? Go in your office.
I call it my apartment, and it's all yellow and bright. It's my kitchen. I've turned my dining room into like this little living area with like, well, you've seen it, but like a sofa,
like your loft,
TV. Brad calls it my apartment. Yeah, and I literally have pillows that say my happy place. Everything's yellow.
I love it
and
here,
bright. And I'm like, you just go and live in your rainy rain cloud, and I'm going to sit here in my yellow sunshine room and just feel the sunshine.
Yeah.
And be happy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's me too.
Yeah. So I just don't care anymore. I mean, if you want to be grumpy, be grumpy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
If that's how you want to live your life, go right ahead, buddy.
I don't want to be.
I literally don't give a shit.
Yeah. I still don't like it when he's mad at me, though. Like those little things, like,
well, that is
he
never
doesn't
okay.
get mad at me very often. So when he gets mad at me, I'm like, well, boo.
You're like, why are you mad at me?
Don't be mad at me.
Come. I know I still haven't gotten to the place with Matt yet where we've separated money, but I have trained him. This is a joke, but he doesn't listen, so it doesn't matter.
You guys still have commingled funds?
Yeah,
okay.
But I've trained him to be like, listen, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to stop making comments.
I was never successful with that.
About anything.
Ever.
Just shut up.
No, I had to kick him out.
If it's a purchase over $50, then we have to have a conversation, or I have to say, hey, I'm spending over this amount of money. If it's not like the groceries or something.
Sure.
But like little lunches, coffees, anything.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah. If I had to check in on anything under $500, I think I would probably have a problem. In fact, the guys, like all of the construction people that are remodeling the house for us, there's 3 separate contractors: the pool guy, the patio guy, and then the fence guy.
Yeah.
They've all been dealing with me. I do the negotiating. I handle everything.
Matt would not talk to one of those people.
Oh, yeah. But they find it so interesting that my husband doesn't want to be a part of it. Well, do you want to talk to your husband? I'm like,
no.
Do you want to just talk to me?
Do you want to get paid?
Like,
do you want to get money?
I'm like, if my husband wanted to be a part of it.
Is he an IT?
Yes.
What type do you know?
Well, he used to be a programmer, like a COBOL programmer, but that's
like a developer, engine, whatever.
Yeah. But now I think he's really more project management with the bank.
Got it.
He hates it. It's all spreadsheets and bullshit. He really liked the programming piece.
Yeah.
Where he could use his brain, as he would say, but no.
Now it's just spreadsheets.
Yeah, he really does truly want to retire in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah. How old is he though?
He's only 58, but
oh, that's Matt.
But you know what?
He'll do tomorrow.
He'll do something else.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't know what it will be, but
Matt wants to start a landscaping company. He wants to call it Matt's Mowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I told Brad he should do.
I'm like,
landscaping.
First of all, you have to talk to people if you're doing landscaping. Do you know that? Like, I'm not going to be the one who's going to be able to lead the sales for you.
Yes, exactly.
And he's like, oh man, I didn't think about that.
Exactly. So I had a little thought when we were talking about just peace and what has changed the older I get and why I think getting older is so cool. I was thinking, one thing I've never done, and I think this has really been instrumental in me. I feel like staying youthful as I age and loving like where I am and the things that I've done. I was talking about Kylie and drama. I never really bought into drama of other people too. I see so many members of my family and friends, people I work with, where they allow other people's drama and other people's life situations. And I'm not talking about when you've got close friends and they come to you and they want your help.
Right.
Sure, offer advice.
Yeah.
But you can't own that.
Yeah.
That's not yours to own. That's not your weight to bear.
Yeah.
And I see so many people get roped into their children's lives.
Yeah.
Like I don't care outside of, Micah not being well taken care of.
Right.
I do not care how they parent their child.
No.
I don't ask.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Also, you have enough things going on in your life that you can't allow that to take precedent in your life.
Probably the truth right there. But like, I don't know what happens in my neighbors' lives. If there's things happening in my parents' life, I draw a line, a boundary line. I'm like, that's not, I can't be your sounding board on that.
So that word that you said, boundary line. So you have clear and healthy boundaries.
Very clear.
Between you, your family members, their families, your daughters, their lives, all of it.
And I tell people this all the time, and I've said it on this podcast 1,000 times, but the number one indicating factor that you are dealing with somebody who does not have good boundaries is when they don't respect your boundaries.
Yes.
When you draw those lines in the sand and you say, this is as far as I will go, this is my no, or this is my whatever, and they get upset with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is not your problem. That just means they themselves do not have boundaries, and that is okay.
Which is also kind of what led us here too, right? With you drew that line. You created that boundary. You said, I'm not contributing in the way that I want to contribute. So I have to draw the boundary. I have to draw that line for myself and say, hey, I need to step away because I'm not doing it. I'm not serving this cause the way I would want to serve the cause.
Right.
Yeah, I'm learning that
guilt.
the hard way.
It's the guilt that is not okay with me. I can't harbor guilt or just the negative energy.
Yeah.
If anything is causing me negative energy, then I know it's not right for me in that time.
Yeah.
So that's when I have to draw the line and say, okay,
well, and you had like an epiphany. I think it was like one of these, one episode or something, like something happened and you were like, oh, I would cancel or not be able to make the podcast or whatever. And you were like, as soon as I had that feeling of relief that I didn't have to go, I knew that it was time for me to make the step away.
Yeah.
And I felt like that in multiple things in my life. And I'm like, man, that's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for saying that because then you don't have to worry about like, I don't have to worry about wanting to keep you engaged in something that you don't want to be engaged in.
Exactly.
Which is
The
great.
first time I think was I got COVID in, was that September or August?
Of last year?
Mm-hmm. This year.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Remember we had a pod. This is when
I think it was earlier than that.
No, it was. I know for sure because it was August. It was right before I went to Florida. The weekend before I went to Florida.
Oh yeah.
But we had a podcast scheduled.
Yeah.
And I had been exposed to COVID, so I told you guys I don't think I should come because we've had people on my team.
Yeah.
And then that Saturday I actually tested positive.
And you got it.
And but the point was when I was exposed and I had to call you guys and say I shouldn't do that. Or no, I said, it's up to you, but I've been exposed and I don't think it's smart. And everyone's like, yeah, let's just not do it. The relief of like not having to do it. I was like, okay, that's not okay.
Right.
Like that.
I should probably address this.
Yes. I was like, I need to really pay attention to this feeling because that's not okay.
Intuition is real, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I just tell everybody like honor that, listen to yourself and listen to like, there is such a thing as energy and you can feel negative energy and you can feel positive energy.
Yes.
And even when it's something that's brought on by yourself or your own thoughts.
Yeah.
So pay attention
and like
to
groups
that
of
stuff.
people and like why, and I'm actually going through this right now too, but I've been learning a lot about boundaries with my therapist.
Yeah.
And about like where I have to draw those lines, where I need to do that because I have been probably, I don't want to say inserting myself, but trying to provide solutions for people who aren't necessarily looking for solutions.
Yes.
But I confuse that. It's on me, right? That I'm confusing that they're coming to me for that when really they're coming to me for comfort.
Right.
Or to vent. Or
they just want to talk.
Whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
that's that masculine energy that you and I have.
Yes.
Where we want to solve the problems of all the people.
I get so mad at my husband for being a fixer and then I'm the fixer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, we just have to draw the line.
I feel like the fixer piece is from work too. Because when a client comes to you and needs a problem fixed, what do you do?
Well, I don't know if it's from that or if that's why you're good at it.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
So I think it's more innately just who you are.
Yeah.
And that is why you're good at your job.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's your job making you more that way.
Got it.
I could be wrong. That's just a theory.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's why we're good at our job because we do like to solve problems.
Yes. And we're just solving problems with people all day long.
And I will help people all day long, but they have to come to me. They have to come to me. I'm not going to go to somebody and tell them what they need to do.
Yeah.
There's someone in my personal life that thinks it's their charge to tell everyone what they need to do and how they need to dress and how they need to act and how they need to feel. And it's like, it's not your job.
No.
It's not your job.
Also, go find a hobby.
Mostly that. Find a hobby.
That's my thing too, is like, I don't have time to just sit around. And this morning I kind of procrastinated and didn't work out, but I normally don't because I just get up and I get it done and that's it, you know? But, and I don't have time to just sit around and not do things and just fucking twiddle my thumbs and be like, oh, I just don't have anything to do today. So I'm just going to meddle in somebody else's business.
I know.
Like, it does not work for me.
Well, and let me just say on that note, I have found Sunday to be my happy day where I may not actually put real clothes on.
That's good.
I just, whatever I wake up in, that just might be my jam all day.
That is so good.
I do laundry on that day.
I'm so here for that.
I do nothing. I don't read any books that day. I watch shit TV and I don't like what's all those shows that people like
reality
stuff. I don't like any of that, but
that's what I think of when you say shit TV.
Sorry, movies.
Got it.
Like just you
just watch mindless television,
television, movies and things like that. And it's almost every Sunday, and it is my jam. And Kylie will come over and hang out with me and just
do nothing with you.
And I love it. Yes. It's like my favorite.
That's what I do on
day.
the Sundays when Chloe's gone.
Yeah,
like I'll clean the house and do the laundry and do the errands and walk the dogs or whatever. You know, like just mindless things that do not take energy or effort or a thought.
Right.
Like I don't even have to think about it.
I need to be better about these boundaries that I speak to when it comes to working.
Why?
I get so in it. Like I'm so tunnel vision when I'm at work.
Yeah.
I sometimes don't leave until 9:00 at night.
Oh yeah, you are in it.
And I'm just
But also you're in leadership. So some nights are going to require that you stay until 9:00, but not
I'm
not
not
every
leaving
night.
past 9. Like usually it's like 8:30, 8:45.
That is so late.
But
I leave right at 5.
But I don't. My whole team does too. I call it like the Flintstones when the little thing. You like it.
They're like, okay, we're out.
I'm like, it's so funny. Like everybody's out. 5:15 goes town.
Yeah.
But I love that.
The quiet.
I love it.
I can get so much done.
It's my favorite
Friday
time.
afternoons when everybody's like checked out and doing nothing. If they leave early, I'm like, fuck yeah, leave early so I can get some shit done.
So my team doesn't come in on Mondays and Fridays.
Oh yeah.
And it is. I love y'all. I love every one of you.
Bliss.
But it is bliss.
I can get so much shit done.
So much time. So much
Nobody's
time.
there. But also I think, and so how are you, because you guys, nobody comes in on Monday and Friday. Mm-hmm. You guys get together Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
We're together every morning. So Tuesdays Monday and Fridays are Zoom.
Right.
9:00 Zoom meeting.
You still talk to each other, but yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we talk. I sometimes feel like I have more FaceTime calls on Fridays and Mondays than I actually talk to them face to face in the office.
You do for sure.
I get them nonstop.
Any remote days that I have, I'm on the phone all day long with people. Like,
and it's funny. The reason we went to this model was because our productivity. I run activity metrics, and I was looking at our activity on Mondays. And they were in the office at the time. They were home Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
We've had this hybrid schedule since we came back from COVID.
Right.
So it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, Monday in the office was by far the worst production day. By far. I mean, like when I say by far, like a good third less. Like it was awful. And so, and then I noticed that Wednesdays was another no, it was Friday. It was Mondays and Fridays. And so I'm like, well, maybe we change this up. Clearly you guys want moody Mondays and home in your jammies.
Right.
Let's see if I give you that. Does that change things?
Okay.
So I said, we're going to do Fridays. We actually voted on what days, but Mondays for sure at home. And then I was never a fan of Fridays and Mondays because I always thought everyone's going to have 4-day weekend in the brain.
Yeah.
So I was a little worried. But they promised me that they would work and be fine.
Yeah.
So it's a pilot. We'll give it a whirl. I run the report or the all the numbers 3 months later. Mondays are the best production days now.
I love it.
By far.
Yeah. Everybody's
super productive. Lots happening.
Ready to get back to work.
You know what else is interesting? We grew. It was like 175% month over month after we did that. Right. And then we also did some other tweaks in the office where everybody has a lane. Like one person works AP, one person works senior staff accountants.
That's good.
One person works AR. That also made a difference. But then Fridays, activity did not get better, but it didn't get worse.
So it's the same. Okay.
Fridays
Still
were
a Friday.
Fridays were bad in the office, and they're not great at home either.
No, because it's a Friday.
I guess because it's a Friday. It makes me want to kill some people, but I'm like, well,
it's so funny because you're so old. You're not old school, but you're
old
just
school. No, I am old school.
Of the mentality of Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, we're doing work, and I'm over here like, man, we could totally do a 4-day work week. We could do Monday through Thursday and say fuck Fridays.
Well, I kind of feel like we're doing that.
I feel like it's already happening.
We're kind of doing that. I, however, am in the office every day because I can't stand to be home. I don't like remote work.
I don't like it either, man. I had a new person start this week, and on top of her starting, one of my other recruiters left, which I am so sad about. Tear. But
the one we talked about?
Yeah.
Should have sent her to me.
She went to CBRE.
Oh, good for her then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally different industry change. But with this one person leaving and then the other person starting, I just went to work every day this week, and I was like, man, I just get so much more work done when I'm at work.
Oh, me too. I am the worst at home.
Yeah.
The worst.
I'll be like doing laundry.
So I worked from home yesterday because I had a pool guy coming that I had to address something with, and I just didn't. It's a shorter day on Fridays, and I just didn't want to go back and forth. So I went in the morning, picked up my laptop because I didn't know that I was going to actually work from home. I got 2 hours of work done yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nope. I didn't work.
I know.
What did I do?
Struggle.
I didn't work. I read my book.
Yeah.
For anyone who's listening, hi team. I read my book.
That is so you too. I read and stuff and things and stuff.
I can't do it. Now, I will say there was back when I had COVID and we had to quarantine we just couldn't go to the office.
Sure.
I did have to work because we were so busy and we had so much going on that if I had boxes that I have to check, I'm in. I'm all in. I can get that done. But yesterday didn't have all of that.
Right.
And so I was like,
Which it's also like, I mean, with you, it's like, let's be real. You're staying until 8 o'clock at night on most other days. So it's going to be okay if you don't work all day on a Friday.
For sure. Like, I mean,
we're fine.
I'm definitely going to I've already got my 40 hours in, right?
We're good.
I'm good. But yeah, I got to set some boundaries around that. I have to, because I don't even realize it. And Taylor will call me and tell me something about Micah, and she's like, Jesus, you're still at the office? And
you're like, oh, I didn't even know.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, weird, crazy.
But I like it. I love being there. I'm productive. I'm focused.
Yeah.
I'm getting things done. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like work to me.
But also, you're an empty nester, so it's just you and your husband at home.
And he's at the gym.
Right. So it's like,
yeah.
And am I really doing anything different?
Brad has a boyfriend, everyone. Brad has a boyfriend. His name is Tucker Carlson. And he comes on TV at 7 o'clock every night. And the second he comes on TV, I'm dead to him. Like, why go home?
I literally don't matter.
Why go home? So I don't have to be there till 8 o'clock.
Well, there you go.
And sometimes a lot later than
Whatever.
that. Whatever. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. What time is it?
I love you.
Cool. I love you too.
12:25.
Okay. Tell me about your next guest.
His name's Ross, and he runs a boot camp, and he does fitness, but he also has a podcast with his son.
Okay.
And it's called Yeah, I Said It, and they talk about some very controversial topics like being black in America and all that stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, talk about fitness and a couple of other things. He also has diabetes, so I want to talk about that and touch on what that looks like, because he's sort of reversing the type 2 diabetes, which is really hard for people to do. So definitely want to talk about that, but... Yeah.
So what is the focus of the podcast? Are you going to keep it the same? Or are you going to go a different direction?
I think I'm going to keep it the same. I might even open it up a little bit to a little more like controversial topics.
Yeah.
Like just kind of, open the floodgates and just see where it goes. We have a couple more podcast scheduled for November. And then from there, I don't know. I mean, I think it'll probably honestly be essentially the same.
Yeah.
It'll be the same, like open dialogue conversations about interesting people with interesting stories, whether they're local or not local. I mean, I don't know how we would make the Zoom thing work, but
yeah.
Well,
let me just conclude by saying,
Keith, if you said something, I can't hear you. And we'll make it work. Thanks, buddy.
I love that.
Thanks.
I just want to conclude by saying, like, this podcast, while I'm leaving because it was causing a little bit of stress, that is not the way it has been for the last, 3.5, almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah. It has been literally my therapy.
Yeah.
I have learned so much from so many different people.
I know.
From you.
You've made some really good connections too from here, like people that you've used for like your coaching, like the speaking coach and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I really have. And I've made some, Courtney Baker, we met on this podcast, and she's one of my favorite people.
Love her. So in life. I'm having lunch with her next week.
Yeah, I love that we have made these beautiful connections with people.
Yeah.
I love that we had this beautiful connection as long as we did.
Oh, yeah. But we had the connection before the podcast too.
We most certainly did.
For sure.
And I feel like when you say the end of an era, it kind of resonates with me a little bit, because in the beginning, I felt like I was a mentor to you.
For sure.
You don't need me as a mentor anymore.
You're still my mentor.
But you don't need me as a mentor anymore. So
you will forever be a mentor to me.
I feel like it's kind of cool because I've served my purpose, and now I pass the baton to you to carry it singly, wholly, to whatever path you want to take.
Yeah.
You don't need me
I mean,
anymore.
ultimately, I would love to take this big.
You should.
That would be, that would be like my dream goal. That would be awesome. I would love to do that.
I was saying this earlier before we went live, that when I shared with April that I no longer wanted to be a part of it. I hate saying it like that because it just sounds, I'm usually a little bit more crafty with words, but
words and emotions is challenging.
When I released myself from Big Girl Pants podcast, I was a little...
When I relinquished my partnership.
Yeah. I was a little bit afraid that you were going to say that you were done too.
No.
And Brad and I even talked about it. I was like, I'm not going to let her. I can't let her do that because it's a natural thing for you. You are the reason we're doing it in the first place.
Thank you.
So, and I did it, to be frank, for you for a long time because I wanted to see you on Saturday. Right. And I just, it wasn't that I was super, passionate about the actual project. It was more just love hanging out with you and having great conversations and meeting really cool people. So I'm glad thank you for doing this for me and thank you for bringing this into my life because it is definitely a lifelong thing that I will cherish.
Yeah. And thank you for doing it with me for almost 4 years.
Oh my God, yeah.
To be fair, we started talking about it in
2018,
March of 2018. So essentially, going on almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Going on, 4 years, but next March would have been 5.
It was actually 2017 when we started talking about it because it was at the office when we were still working for Carlton Staffing when you started bringing it up.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking, like,
and that's a long time,
and
man.
iPhone.
That's 5 years. That's a long time in life. And essentially when Shapiro told me, she was like, hey, we had this conversation. And we had this conversation 2 years ago too. Yeah. Where you were like, I just don't know if the direction that you're going in is where I want to be. And I was like, all right, let's recalibrate, get it back on focus, whatever. And then I was not surprised when you came back and said, hey, I'm there again. And I'm like, okay, that's all right.
You were.
But it was like having that conversation with you and doing that with you and having the conversations that you and I have had initially, like you were my mentor and you carried a lot of the things, both financially, like emotionally, responsibly, with experience. Like you could speak to the conversations and how you felt about it or the life experience that you had that I didn't have yet. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Because you led me here.
Yeah.
And you basically trained me and gave me the tools that I need so that I had the confidence to know that I could go forward.
I love you.
Don't cry.
I love you.
Do not cry.
I love you.
Do not cry because you are not a crier.
I know.
And you're not allowed to cry on this shit. I told Matt that yesterday.
Okay. Well, I am very proud of you. Very proud of you. And I'm very proud of our relationship.
Don't make me cry.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to be done before we start crying like babies.
Fuck this emotion shit.
Stupid. Whatever.
I'm really excited. And I think the coolest thing too is once a quarter you will come back and we'll check in and have these conversations and, go back to, where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Which is so cool because it's not... That's the beauty of this podcast and Big Girl Pants. And it was like, I even wrestled with the idea of whether I was going to change the name or not. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we built this together. And just because you've decided that it's no longer serving your life at this time doesn't mean that Big Girl Pants as the show and what it stands for has changed at all.
That's right. And it's a brand and it's a recognizable brand.
Yeah.
I've had people, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
When people say, oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Oh
or even God. I've listened to that. I'm like, really?
Dude, I had a candidate tell me that the other day. She was like, I've been listening to your podcast since you guys started.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I know.
I love that.
What? What?
I know.
But yeah, and you, everything that you did for me and that you've done for me, that all started when you were my boss and the conversations that we had. So it was without that magic, this would be nothing.
Right.
So of course, I'm not going to take this away or stop this or even stop the podcast because it was built on such a solid foundation.
Mm-hmm. And
you're about to be a grandma times 2. And you're going to be busy and doing your own stuff. I'm so pumped.
I love when Micah comes over and spends the night with me and just hangs out with me.
Dude.
No rules, man. No rules.
Coco's house, bruh.
Coco's house. Taylor called me last night. Her and her husband went up to a movie and she calls me and she says, so how, this is 11 o'clock at night, 10:30 maybe. And she's like, so how was it going? Or how did it go? As it was past 10.
You're oh, it's still going.
He's in bed.
No,
Y'all, I have a quick story and then we can end. When Taylor called me, I was laughing so hard. I was crying. Please don't let me forget to show you the video.
With Micah.
Micah comes up to me with a tennis ball in his mouth going, like he wants me to throw the ball, like he's a dog.
Totally.
And I'm like, what is going on? You want to play fetch?
He's like, yeah, throw it.
And he did.
Take it from...
I immediately grabbed my phone
Take it
and
from
was
my
like, so Taylor calls me right in the middle of this. I'm crying because I'm like, my grandson is playing fetch like a dog.
With a tennis ball. That's probably my dog's.
I was living my best life. And Taylor's like, so how'd it go? I'm like, it's still going.
We're still here. We're still going.
We're still playing.
I love it.
Yeah. And she always tells me, like, bath time is at X time. And I'm like, bath time? You swam today.
First of all, let's be real. This Coco's house. Calm down.
He had a bath in the pool. We're good.
I'm so excited for them, too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
Babies.
Lots of babies. All right. Well,
all right, man.
I love you.
I love you, too, man.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. It is going to be great.
Cool.
I'm excited. Well, thank you for listening to this episode, and thank you for tuning into Big Girl Pants once again. If you have any questions, send us an email at biggirlpantspod@gmail.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We are on YouTube, so this is also a video podcast. And check us out anywhere that you find your podcasts. And please like and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you're in the market looking for a job and you're in accounting and finance, give us a ring.
Call Kimberly Shapiro and also April Melton.
Exactly.
Okay,
Give us
thank
a
you.
call.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.